The Gallagher Shots podcast is sponsored by Tyre Spot, the Northeast's leading tyre supplier with branches across the region. Tyre Spot don't just do tyres, they cover everything from servicing to wheel alignment. They can handle every aspect of your car's maintenance. For more information, visit tyrespot.co.uk. Enjoy the episode.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the Gallagher Shots YouTube channel and podcast, and we are here for another midweek podcast. I mean, Deka, just throwing these out at the minute, like there's no tomorrow, but obviously another big week. I keep on saying this, it's going to be a huge week for Newcastle, but now we're down to it. Deka, it's just around the corner, just a handful of days away. Newcastle United take on Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final. Last night we watched and basically eagerly awaited in regards to the result of Liverpool against PSG about what happened in that fixture. And that fixture probably couldn't have gone any better for Newcastle United. We're hoping that it will go to extra time, it will go to penalties. It did just that. Liverpool were back and forwards throughout that game, like a basketball game as well, especially going a goal down early on in the game as well. They've had to go out and win that one. And it just panned out perfectly for us. When it was such a bad week last week, it seems like this week it's slightly better.
No, I agree with you. It is mad, isn't it? What a difference a week makes. Like last week, you've got a few suspensions. A suspension and an injury, and you're thinking, we've got no chance in the final. It's going to be very difficult. And then fast forward a week, and I mean, I watched the game last night, and I think me and you talked. I don't know if it was on the podcast on Monday or maybe just in the car or something, but that if it could go to extra time, like just wear them out a bit, and it just went perfectly. I mean, before I watched the game, I was thinking, I watched this. They're probably going to win like 3-0 and blow them away, and I'm going to be even more like miserable. But it was perfect. They've obviously got a few injuries, which we'll probably come on to. Obviously, unsure of the severity of them injuries, but it was a testing night for them, and it's exactly what we needed. Like.
Exactly that. I mean, I think before we'll look at the Liverpool game, I think we need to go a couple of days back for the Newcastle United versus West Ham game. Obviously, we did the watch along on Monday night with the other two boys, and the game wasn't a pretty game to watch, far from it. But we got through. We got 3 points, and you just mentioned on the last podcast, which we did similar to this one, that momentum is huge in football, and. The question marks were over before the game if it was going to be Callum Wilson or Isak starting. Isak obviously started, didn't get a goal, but obviously gets minutes in his legs. Callum Wilson comes on for the last 20 minutes as well, so he gets some game time as well. So basically the best of both worlds we saw on Monday night. But getting those 3 points in the league was huge, absolutely massive. That keeps on that push. I think we're in 6th, but obviously joint fifth with goal difference, blah, 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 however you want to put it. Just behind Manchester City. So that's huge for momentum going into that game after it had been such a difficult week for the club.
100%. I mean, we talked about it on the Sunday when we did one, and like your mind's thinking, well, let's just rest the players, like because Sunday is really, really important. But because we want to try and get in the Champions League, I mean, we're lying 9th at that time when we were talking about it, and we had to get a win. You're right; it wasn't pretty. But it was the 3 points that counts. And I don't know, could you feel at the end of the game, I thought against West Ham, the players and certainly Howe were like really energised and buzzed about that win. I think Howe realised how big of a win it was. Probably also that we've came through the game without any injuries as well. At that time, he knows when the game's finished, there's nobody kind of being hurt. Yeah. We've won the game. It was a massive 3 points, like even though the performance wasn't great, as we mentioned. But sometimes in football, you can't be at your absolute best, can you, and win? And to be fair, I've been critical of Newcastle over the season where I've said, in order for us to win a game of football, everyone needs to be a 10. We all have to be all guns blazing. And to be fair, we didn't play particularly well, but we still won. We've also managed to score without Gordon or Isak sort of being involved, if that makes sense. So there is a few positives you can take, really.
Yeah, no, 100%, and it's crucial going into this fixture coming up on Sunday, which we'll talk a little bit more about. The rest of the lads will be doing a full match preview on this one as well, so make sure you do check this out. as well when that gets posted in the next couple of days. But starting 11, Deka, are you still the same opinion now? Do you think the starting 11 will be exactly the same as what it was against West Ham on Monday night, or do you think Eddie Howe will tweak a few things, or they will go back to you don't change a winning side?
I think he'll be the same team. I really do. I don't particularly think Barnes had a good game, but what I will say is he was involved in all of our key moments, which is great, right? So the chances that we did have on Monday, I think he was was involved in most of them. The header, there was a shot he had from Trippier's effort, obviously the goal he got an assist, which will do wonders for his confidence as well.
Great assist as well, Deka. Lovely ball in the back post.
It was, and he's done that before. I think Bestie mentioned it, the Bournemouth game. He has that ability to be able to just clip a lovely ball in. So for me, I think it'll be an identical side, barring any issues this week that happens in training or whatever may happen. But I would say it'd be the same 11.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only really question mark really going into the game on Sunday was possibly the left-hand side, if it would be Barnes or we'll go back to the opportunity, the option of Joe Willock and Joe Linton. But I think I'm with you, mate. Yeah, double Joe. I think I'm with you. I think it'll be Barnes starting. I think he's done enough on Monday to deserve that chance as well. It causes less disruption than what it would with likes of Joe Willock and Joe Linton coming in. The left hand side, if we go back to Tino, we noticed on Monday night that the play was slowing down quite a lot on that left hand side when Tino was overlapping. Because obviously he had to come back in on his right hand side to deliver the ball. And he wasn't really delivering the ball into the box at times. He was coming back in and then playing across edge of the box over. Looking back at that Liverpool game from last night, it looks like Trent will be missing the Carabao Cup final. He picks up an ankle sprain. It is rumoured to be. I don't think Liverpool have officially announced it, but it looks like from the rest of the news outlet that he's going to be missing that one. Does that make it a little... I don't want to say the word easier, because, of course, it's not going to be easy because we've lost that full left-hand side. But you've got to... Basically, the footballing gods may have looked at us there and thought, right, their left-hand side is done. We're going to damage Liverpool's right-hand side a little bit.
I think it's a massive loss, to be honest. I know some people will probably maybe disagree with that and say defensively he's poor. Listen, Trent is one of Liverpool's best players. Simple as that. He's a fantastic creative threat. His passing ability is second to none, really. He's got a wonderful pass out of the ball and opening up things and starting stuff. And to be fair, right, we played them down there not so long ago. I thought Trent was sound at right back, to be honest. And I know he's been criticised for his defending, but I thought he's a world class player. Like there's no doubt about it. So if he's missing, then that's all of the positives for us. I think the Canate injury as well. I think it looked more like cramp, if I'm honest, but he still had to go off. So you never know. He's a huge player as well. But yeah, losing Trent, as you say, our left-hand side, it's a little bit of a shot in the arm for us as supporters as well, because we, as you mentioned, we felt a bit sorry for ourselves losing our players. And now they've lost one of their best players as well, which is mint.
Yeah, I agree with you. It did look like cramp because he went down, tried to play on a little bit later, then you could see he just hobbled off the field afterwards. Cramp.
Yeah.
Whether or not he's got enough days now to recover to be fully fit from that is probably the question. I think, yes, he will feature, but how long he can last after putting in what God knows how many minutes against PSG, which were going at them, especially in the last 20 minutes. It was just PSG constantly going at them as well. And do you know what it is? That they handled really well. There seems a little bit of upset as well behind the scenes with Liverpool. I'm not sure if you've seen this this morning, last night, with Van Dijk speaking to the PSG owners after the game. He was caught in the tunnel between the two changing rooms having a conversation with PSG. I don't think it's Liverpool fans kicking off about this, because obviously Liverpool fans aren't happy with the club allowing contracts to run out with the top players like Salah, Van Dijk, and so on. But a little bit of unrest there. I'm not sure if we can take much from that. But if it was Newcastle United, I wouldn't want that going into a cup final.
Did you see the video that I think Scott put in the group yesterday? I'm not sure. I did click on it. It was Trent and Salah arguing in training, pushing each other and shoving each other. Obviously, Trent's not in now anyway. It's a funny one. What I will say, I had a feeling like, they've gone out on penalties. They'll obviously be upset about that. I mean, Salah was in tears, right? Salah was crying after the game. So I think that also tells you it's his last maybe stint at Champions League football at Liverpool. You've got two ways to look at it. One is like, are they tired? They've got to be. They have to be, right? Because they've just played for a day. It felt like they've then lost the final
and physically as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Now, do you get a Liverpool team on Sunday who was absolutely like a wounded dog, right? That is going to be all out to sort of make amends for the Champions League exit, or are we able to capitalise on what is a bit of a blip in form and a bit of sort of lack of confidence, or again tiredness? For me, I will go back to what was said at the start. I think in the build up to this week, if you were going to have a build up to this week, us to get 3 points and have no injuries and keep a clean sheet, for them to go out and potentially have 2 injuries and play 120 minutes is incredible. Like it's been perfect week really in preparation.
Yeah, so when I went to penalties last night, I was watching the game with Wallace, and she was going, "What's a good result for Newcastle now?" And I went, "Well, the good result is the fact that it's gone on for so long. That's exactly what we wanted." I went, but it's really hard to know in regards to a fixture result if it's a good thing or not, because I said the same thing to you, Deka. I went, obviously you've got Premier League, Champions League, obviously high on their agenda and priority list. That's where that is. And I mean, Carabao Cup's just hovering. They're not really that arsed about that. Yes, they want to win silverware, but it's quite low down on priority list. And I went, so them going out of this tournament now in the Champions League, they might go, right, okay, we're going to go into Sunday and win that one, and there's another trophy straight away. Obviously, on his slots first season as well, he'll want to pick up a trophy. And I thought, if they had still been in the competition, the players might have just. It comes as a second thought, really, the likes of the Carabao Cup compared to the likes of Champions League campaign and so on. I went, so there's not really right now. I couldn't tell you if it's a good result or a bad result for Newcastle. It's just one of those. There's pros and cons to every sort of situation. But obviously, the pro was how many minutes the players are on the field. Obviously, they'll be absolutely shattered going into that one. And do you know what it is? We could be sitting here and talking like this, and they could go a Sunday and absolutely blow away. Of course they could. We're not saying that because of the minutes that they played, it's going to have a huge impact. But that's a hell of a lot better of a situation than what it would have been all done and dusted in the first half.
Yeah, well, we've had this debate a lot, haven't we, with Newcastle when we've had midweek games in Europe and stuff, right, over the past. I'm like, we'll look leggy on the weekend, and we've almost complained that we've got a midweek game because we know that the deficit that it has on the players, and obviously it's a cup final, right? So no matter how tired the players may be, they're going to lift themselves for a cup final, right? They are.
Yeah, of course.
Part of us does think that a lot of the players will be like, listen, we need to go there and put it right for the fans type of thing, and they'll have that attitude. But for me, if you said to me on Sunday when we were chatting, right, we're going to win, they're going to lose, and they're going to go all the way to penalties, well, you snap your hand off. Do you know what I mean? That is as I say, preparation wise, it's been perfect. I'm sure all our lads were watching that game yesterday thinking exactly the same, watching it going, wow, it's got to penalties, lads. You know what I mean? I bet their WhatsApp group was on fire last night. So it's been really good.
You can look at it the other way as well, Deka. Like you mentioned that sometimes we've had a midweek game we've looked quite leggy in that one. Sometimes we've had a full week or a week and a half off, Deka, and we've came back and absolutely stunk the place out. Like absolutely horrendous some weeks, and you think, right, we've had a full week to prepare. The other teams playing midweek, so we should have the legs on them. We just completely haven't. We've been absolutely ran all over the shop. Yeah. But I think the main points to end it on is what we've just mentioned throughout this one. Obviously, how long that game went on for. Yes, they have picked up a couple of injuries. Injuries we're seeing. Obviously, we know Trent's going to be missing from that one. Obviously, I don't think the other one it is just cramp. So I think Trent's the big one. And the fact that our result on Monday night, that's huge as well, going into this one. Like you mentioned, the players looked up for it after the game on Monday. It looked, do you know what it is? It looked a little bit like a weight had been lifted off the shoulders as well when they were celebrating with the fans after the game.
I
just looked relaxed.
Yeah, it looked more than just 3 points on the road. I don't know. It looked more than that. Maybe it's to do with the sort of the rough run of form that we've had. It could also be that the excitement of that they've won, but them all know now the focus turns to Wembley. So it seemed to be a really special moment I felt after that game when I seen them celebrating.
Yeah, no, was good. I think, like I said at the very start of this one, to go from the downs of last week's, perked up a little bit, not a huge amount, but it's perked up a little bit. I think everybody was a bit worried going into that game on Sunday. I think everybody still is. Anything can happen, but obviously it looks a bit better now than what it did last week. And I think
And
now's the time, as a fan base, we can start to get a bit more excited about this one.
yeah, I mean, it's still amazing that we're there. Like, do you know what I mean? I kind of thought this morning before we agreed to do this. I was like, I can't believe that I'm sitting here, whatever time it is, 9 o'clock, whatever, and like talking about a final, like another cup final. Like it's we're not used to this. Do you know what I mean? So we should just completely embrace it and completely enjoy it. Don't worry really about what could happen. Yeah, all right, we could get beat, but at the end of the day, when the season began, to say we'll get to a cup final would be absolutely, we'll be loving it. Do you know what I mean? So we should just enjoy it and.
With minimal investment as well, Deka, over the last few seasons as well. And we've managed to do it 2 out of 3 seasons. Yes, obviously, people watching this on from a Newcastle United fan base perspective, yeah, you might look and say, oh, they bought this player, that player. But really, we haven't invested a huge amount compared to what we were expecting as fans. And to get 2 cup finals in 3 seasons is phenomenal. It's just a shame, obviously, the opposition this time around has came up against an in-form Liverpool, obviously from that midweek game. It's one of those things. It's Newcastle United. We're never ever going to make it easy for ourselves. But like I said, after the last one that we did take out, there was a couple of people saying that admire us for still having positivity going into the game and saying that we still had a chance. We do, man. We still got a chance. It might be slim, but honestly, as long as we turn up, anything can happen. I hope we don't roll over and have our bellies tickled like we did against Manchester United that time. We need to be up for this one.
That's what I actually put some on Twitter. I just as a, I was just thinking myself, and I put on saying like, how's everyone feeling about the final? And there was a lot of people commenting back to us with that opinion of what just turn up. If we lose, but we've given it a real go, that's fine. But I think that was the disappointment in the Man United game, is we felt we didn't really lay a glove on them, and like we could have played better. I think that was the annoyance of that one. Whereas hopefully this time they've had that experience under the belt, and they'll be able to at least go and give them a game. I'm not saying they'll win, but go and give them a game.
Yeah, just make it physical. Make it physical, and we might have a chance.
Yeah, we'll have to. We'll have to.
Not too physical, mind, but just yeah.
Yeah, we're doing 9 minutes or something after like 20 minutes.
Of course not. Anything that you want to add before we end it, Deka?
No, not really. I don't know. Well, I was actually. God, it's pissing down. On when we go down on Saturday.
Yes.
Are we meeting anyone down there, or are we telling anyone where we are or something? Or we're having a.
Well, obviously, we've got a couple of things planned ourselves that we need to do as well. But I'm sure I'll get to some point where, for those in the Telegram group, we'll post what our plans are as well. Yeah, of course. It's just to meet up with a few people, because it'll be great to catch up with, especially the members that have supported us through the year as well. It's a huge occasion. We did it last time as well. We met up with a handful of them too. So if you are a member, we will be putting some messages in the Telegram group as well, which leads us to see, if you want to become a member, it's just $2.99 a month to do that. You get extra videos like this and early access to videos as well. Just come along. It's going to be a really good week when it comes to Newcastle United content. I see there's content all over the shop now, and not just from podcast and fan base channels. It's everything, like Talk Sport, TikTok, we're involved. Honestly, there's absolutely loads of Newcastle United content out there at the minute as well. So I'm all up for it. Everybody knows I'm an absolute content slut when it comes to stuff like that. So yeah, thanks very much, everybody. Just like the video as well. And if you don't want to become a member, just subscribe. That's all I ask for. Thanks very much. We shall see you on Sunday for the big one. The huge one. We'll be back at some point as well to do a couple more things as well. Like I said earlier on, there will be a full match preview going out, which Scott will be hosting. I'm not sure the rest of the lads are on there. But yeah, keep an eye out for that one as well. It's going to be a good one. And we shall see you next time.
We're going to Wembley, Get
in.